I guess having a sort of motivation slash pressure from your friends or something that is could be valuable.
Đức Anh, thank you for joining today's video. Before we start, can you introduce yourself and your recently acquired IELTS score, please?
Very well. My name is Đức Anh. I'm currently 17 years old, I believe, and I recently achieved a score of 8.5 on my IELTS test.
Wow, that's really, really impressive. A score of 8.5 is extremely high, especially when you had no skills under 7.5, right? So, how do you feel about your experience with learning and studying with IELTS Fighter, especially as a VIP one-to-one course student?
Uh, I suppose there isn't anything much revealing to glean from my experience. I chose the one-on-one course mainly as a way for me to, in a sense, kind of just re-practice and get a better grasp on the IELTS test before I took it, as I only took like I believe 20 days of the 20 days of course over here, I suppose. My experience with IELTS Fighters was a relatively short one.
Mm.
However, I was able to, I know, uh, get much value from it, I suppose. Definitely from my teacher.
Yeah, that's great to hear. I think 20 days, right? 20 days isn't a long time. However, I'm really glad with your solid foundation in English, you were able to get, like you said, get a better grasp on the test structures and also formats, which helps prepare you better for the test. So can you elaborate more on how the teacher at IELTS Fighter, especially your teacher, as I was aware of, was Miss Ngân, right? How has she helped you improve your IELTS skills?
Let's see. Well, I requested that she focus mostly on my writing skills and a bit on my speaking skill, as I find that one, I already have a pretty good foundation on the reading and listening skills, and those are the two things I can reliably train myself on. That
Mm.
it doesn't have. I as specifically asked Miss Nunn to help me train with my writing skill, as that was where I was lacking in the most from what I can see. She helped me with the basic structuring of how my writing should be, and especially with time management. So
Mm.
on the writing part, we had to we went over the structures of the different, I guess, functions really quickly. And after that, it was essentially just a lot of mock tests and things that for me to practice on. There's focus categorized training is more so
Mm.
just me trying to, uh, I guess, manage my time better,
Yeah.
to control my time, my word count, and things of those nature, I suppose. And
Mm.
in my speaking, well, test training regime, I suppose, we did a lot of, as I guess, a lot of training on that front too, mostly with the speaking forecasts. So there's much to speak about there, as when it comes to speaking, I don't struggle that much, especially with, I guess, coming up with ideas. So, yeah, we really only try to, I guess, help me have a better grasp on my time, not to panic during the exam, and essentially, uh, I suppose, give me a bit more helpful tips as there to the speaking test. But overall, there isn't much to say about that part. I guess to summarize, we did a lot of practice, and that's essentially it, I suppose.
Oh wow, that's very impressive. And so as well, I can tell you are very very advanced in your speaking skills, and surely after, I guess, practicing with your teacher, it has even improved more. I do agree that the essay structure and time management are two crucial things that you need to keep in mind when you're doing the IELTS test, because there's so many different criteria that you need to adhere to. And writing an essay in English is different, completely different than writing an essay in English, isn't it? So yes, you have to pay attention to the word count, the different essay structures, and the requirements of the essays. I'm really glad that's what she helped you improve with. So out of the four skills, I know you've said you've spent a lot of time practicing speaking and writing skills. Which one would you say that improved significantly after studying with Miss Ngun in the 1-to-1 course at IELTS Fighter?
Let's see. Well, that's one easy. It's definitely my writing capabilities. I initially got, I believe, a 6.5 on my writings test assessment. So it was the one skill that I wanted to improve the most on during my time here with IELTS Fighter. So that's what was significantly boosted after I spent my time here with essentially got better with my time managing skills, and got better with answering the question correctly. I suppose,
Yeah.
task achievement. Yeah, that's
Task achievement, exactly. A lot of
I
students
suppose.
can get carried away with it and kind of go off topic with the
Yeah.
question, right? One of the things that students struggle with a lot when they're doing the writing task is coming up with ideas. Essentially, it's one of the first things that you need to do when you start doing a writing task. So, like you've shared before, that's one of the things that you and Miss Ngun practice together, right? So, can you share how do you learn to come up with ideas for different IELTS writing tasks and different IELTS writing task types? Because a lot of people struggle with this.
Uh, right. Coming up with idea is certainly difficult, I suppose, especially if you don't have any foundational knowledge on the topic. I don't have a lot of advice to give on this, as it's essentially comes down to building that sort of foundational knowledge in the first place. I don't particularly struggle with this aspect of the IELTS test that often, as when you build on foundational level knowledge or a cognitive ability to think about something at a higher level. To say that there isn't any topic that you couldn't try to reel it in or bring it back into your ballpark. The way that you answer the questions or how you interpret the questions also matters a lot. So when it comes to general advice I give, it comes down to two things: just reading over the task, I guess, deeply to understand what they're trying to ask of you, and two is just read more in general, getting a grasp on basic knowledge, or just being able to grasp basic terms from different fields and how they interact with each other, and in a bigger picture, and so that you could theoretically put together an essay that you could understand and the examiner could understand.
I completely agree. I think reading more is always a good thing, whether you're taking the IELTS or not. You should have a good foundation or a good understanding of social situations or social news, and get up to date with whatever's going on in the world. IELTS doesn't just test your English and language skills, but it also tests on a very extensive range of social knowledge as well, right? So congratulations again on your 8.5. That's a really high score. And so how do you feel that this 8.5, it certainly has gonna open. It's going to open a lot of doors for you and a lot of opportunities for you in the future. So, how do you think that this score has helped you with your academic journey?
Let's see. On the topic of my academic journey, IELTS has certainly, like you said, opened a lot of opportunities for me to be able to advance to higher education. So, I find that IELTS seems to be a foundational certificate for anyone who's trying to get better education in general, both within Vietnam and abroad. So I view IELTS as my gateway to a lot, I guess, opportunities and doors such as scholarships or different schools and university or undergraduate courses in general. It's certainly important, and I find that it's something that a lot of people need, but more so me specifically. So it's something that I'm both glad to have been done with and feel good about now that I could advance on to my, I guess, next stage of my education.
Yeah, higher education.
Yeah.
Do you plan to study abroad?
Well,
with that qualification and with your level of English, I'm sure
there's still a few complications to work out first, and for me to see if there's anything that's suitable for me first. So yeah, I suppose there's that. But I even if I don't study abroad, it would this would still be a good certificate to have.
Exactly. It's not just good, it's excellent. A lot of people try, like, have so many attempts to even get an 8 point. So 8.5 is really, really impressive. So I do have another question. After your progress of studying at IELTS Fighter, do you have any advice for fellow students your age that are on the same journey as you were?
I suppose there isn't much of an advice that I could give, as everyone's academic journey is different. People are blessed in different skills, and some have to, I guess, overcome it with hard work or either to work smarter. When it comes to advice, I don't want people to overdose on just IELTS advice or having to, I suppose, do things in a particular way that has lead everyone to high achievement. If there's one thing I could say, I feel like there's observation and there's insight. A lot of people who are successful are very aware of their exact process of how they got to that point. I am one of those persons, and we have complications on our process, and some of us can make our schedule work and our study plan works for us, but it might not work for others. I feel like when you rather than trying to glean some insight from these people, it would be better to observe what they actually do so that you can build a plan for your own.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the academic journey is quite different and quite personal for everyone, right? So, and everyone has their own weaknesses and strengths. So the first step, like you said, would be to identify and to be aware of what are your strengths and weaknesses, and so you know, so you can draw a study plan and improve them yourself. Would you say that determination as well and motivation from your student, fellow classmates, or your teacher is an important key in achieving success?
Yes, I suppose that would also be important, as a lot of other factors too. So, but in general, I guess having a sort of, I guess, motivation / pressure from your friends or something that could be valuable on your academic journey, I suppose.
Yeah. But it's pressure, but it's a good kind of pressure, and it creates healthy competition, isn't it? Yes. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for sharing your studying journey and how you achieve your score and all the very helpful tips. And thank you for joining with me today. I wish you all the best in your future career. Thank you so much for joining us, and wish you all the best. Have a nice day.